Good morning, high school. It is Monday, April 26th. It is the last week of this month, and that means we're 1 month from the last week of this school year. Right now, where we're staying on this lake, we live at the bottom of a fairly steep hill. And that means that anytime we go for a walk or go for a run, the first thing we encounter is a hill to get out of our house up to the main road. On the flip side, that means coming back, the last thing that we encounter is a downhill straight to our driveway. That's the opposite of Faith Academy, since campus is on a hill. Anytime you run anywhere from campus, it starts with a downhill. If you start from the circle, you've got that steep downhill down to the fields, and then to get off campus, you're going down another hill. No matter which way you pick. Before they closed the gates at the bottom of Penny Lane and Kings Loop, you had 3 options of how to get down the hill and 3 options of how to get up the hill. They were different lengths and different steepnesses, but there was always a hill to get up. So you knew whenever you went for a walk, for a run from campus, to get back, no matter what, you had to go up that hill. Boston, Massachusetts is about 1 hour that way from where I'm sitting right now. And every year they hold the Boston Marathon there. It's one of the most well-known marathons in the United States. And one of the most infamous parts of the Boston Marathon is something called Heartbreak Hill. A few years back, the Faith Academy cross-country team started calling that backside of Penny Lane, running down past the CAD Theater, Heartbreak Hill, kind of as a nod to that hill in the Boston Marathon. Heartbreak Hill in the Boston Marathon isn't the longest or steepest of hills in common marathons in this country. There are other marathons that have a greater elevation change. There are other marathons that have a longer uphill stretch at different points in time. What makes Heartbreak Hill difficult is when it comes in the race. Other hills come in the middle or toward the beginning of the race. A marathon is 26 miles, and in the Boston Marathon, you hit Heartbreak Hill after mile 20. At that point, you're exhausted. Your legs are dead. You just want to fall over tired, and you come around a corner and look and see this uphill for a half a mile stretching ahead of you, and it just feels like we can't do this. I can't get up that hill. I feel like, as a disclaimer, I should say I have never actually run the Boston Marathon. This is just from talking to people and reading things. That hill is such a prominent part of the Boston Marathon that people who are running the race prepare for it intentionally. And of course they train for it physically, the months of prep work that they put into even getting to the starting line of the Boston Marathon. But they also prepare for it emotionally. They know that hill is coming. They know that after 20 and a half miles of beating their bodies and pushing their legs, that hill is going to stretch out before them. Knowing the hill is there keeps people from getting discouraged when they see it. If you rounded the corner after 20 and a half miles and didn't expect that hill to be there, that would be very discouraging. But everyone knows it's coming, and so everyone can plan ahead for it. Some runners have said that after you get to the top of Heartbreak Hill, you know you can do the last 5 miles of the race. And 5 miles isn't insignificant. There is still a significant portion of the race left. But people feel like, I just did that, I just got up that hill, so I know I can make it and get through what's ahead of me. We don't have 5 miles left in this race this year, but we do have 5 weeks. And it might be this week, it might be next week, but your Heartbreak Hill is probably going to come. You have done distance learning for longer than it's fair to ask you to have done distance learning this year. You've been schooling in this format longer than is fair to you and longer than we ever would have hoped to put you through that. But you've made it this far. You may turn a corner this week or next week and look at what's ahead of you and think, I can't get up that hill. I'm done. I can't do it. All these weeks of pushing my body, pushing my mind, working harder than I think I should have to be working, putting in more effort than it seems like I have effort to give. And now that's ahead of me. That's just not fair. But just like people look at the end of the Boston Marathon and say, I know I can finish because I just got up that hill. At some point, you'll look at what's ahead of you and think, I've got this. I know I can make it through these past few weeks because I've made it through all these weeks that have come. Every year, there are people who stand on the side of Heartbreak Hill, on the edge of the road. And even though they don't know anyone who's running the marathon, they'll stand there for hours and cheer on every single runner as they push themselves up that hill, because they know the value in having somebody root for you while you do something hard. And I do know how encouraging it is to have complete strangers cheer you on at the end of a long race. Collectively, all of us are cheering you on. We know you've got this in you. We know you can make it up this last hill. We know that once you get over that hump, you'll look back and say, I did that. I can do what's left. For the most part, running is a completely solitary sport. There isn't much anybody can do to help you in the actual running besides giving you water, cheering you on. School, though, while it may feel like a solitary sport, a solitary challenge sometime, really isn't. We're pulling through this together. We want to help you succeed. And me, your teachers, the rest of the staff, we're doing everything we can to get you over that hill, to get you to the point where you know that you can make it through the rest of this year. So whether that hill comes this week for you, or maybe next week, or the week after, get ready for it. Psych yourself up for it. Know that it's coming so that you can expect it. And then push your way through it. So when you get to the end of the year, you can look back and say, that was hard. I was exhausted. I was tired. But I made it. And I got here. And just like crossing that finish line at a marathon, when you cross the end of the line at the school year, we'll all be there cheering for you, just happy you got through it and proud of what you accomplished. Get up that hill. You can get there. Stay safe. Stay sane. This is not a product endorsement, but can you tell what kind of shoes my family prefers?